As I've studied African history over the years, I've come across many historical figures. As my knowledge of African history has increased, I've discovered some prodigious individuals who have not gained the same reputation as others. It's interesting to see the historical figures who actually make it to our ears in the diaspora. Today, I wanted to speak about one of the most underrated kings in African history. What up, African world? It's Homseam here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and contributing to this content. The link to Patreon is in the description box below. Also, stay tuned with a word from my sponsors.
Celebrate Black History Month with Konfaga, Roots of a Very Old Tree, a high fantasy young adult book with a modern take on African mythology. After a mysterious confrontation with his father at school, Marcus Jobda finds himself in the land of Kara. With a small band of determined adventurers and a robust magic system he must quickly learn, Marcus begins his search for his family, a way home, and tries to discover the mystery of the disappearances. From escaping Mamiwara and preventing wars between kingdoms, he'll need every edge his wits can give him to see the next day. The more he learns, the less things appear as they seem. But does he really want to go back to his old life? With hundreds of illustrations filled with clues of the history of the world, Konfaga, Roots of a Very Old Tree is available now on Amazon. And free, from February 20th to February 24th. Because honestly, I just want people reading the book. It's a great story. Link in the description.
To begin, this video is opinion-based, so please keep that in mind. My goal is to spark a discussion within the diaspora regarding underrated historical figures, civilizations, or cultures within the African continent. So please be sure to share your thoughts below about other topics within African history that you feel deserve more recognition. I think this collective effort will help everyone learn more about the continent as a whole. Also, throughout the video, you'll be hearing different pronunciations for the same individual and place. So let's begin. I think most people in the African diaspora could name at least two African kings, perhaps Mansa Musa and Shaka Zulu. These men have been established in popular culture as staples in African history. Obviously, there are other great kings and queens on the African continent, some of whom we may be able to discuss at length. Additionally, I rarely hear anyone speak about what I would consider one of the greatest empires in African history, the Kanem-Bornu Empire. This empire outlasted many great empires on the African continent, and after a destructive civil war, it became even stronger and larger. It's one of the most fascinating empires in all of African history, in my opinion. From my view, it was from this empire that one of the greatest African kings arose. His name was Mai Idris Aluma. Idris Aluma was certainly one of the most well-rounded rulers in all of African history. Some would say that under his rule, Kanem-Bornu reached its peak. He helped the empire grow economically and militarily. The status of the empire also grew because of his diplomacy. The reign of Idris Aluma brought great change to Kanem-Bornu. He was considered an innovative Mai or king who helped the empire flourish economically and politically. Idris Aluma hailed from the Kanuri ethnic group and was a devout Muslim ruler that corresponded with the major Islamic powers of the time. According to scholar Edamola Ejayi, Idris had numerous contacts with the Islamic world, including Turkey. His diplomacy earned him great respect throughout this world and helped him to increase the prestige of Kanem-Bornu. On the whole, Idris Aluma increased the prosperity of Borno and the wealth of the citizenry. Trade was boosted as the Kanuri Empire maintained an effective control of trans-Saharan trade. Aluma was responsible for clearing roads, designing and improving boats for navigation on Lake Chad, and introducing standard units of measure for grain. He also ensured the safety and security of travelers throughout his empire, thereby helping Kanem-Bornu to attain wealth. One of the greatest accomplishments was his military campaigns. Much of Borno's success under Idris was achieved by his army, the efficiency of which was greatly enhanced by numerous innovations in the spheres of transportation, supply, armaments, and leadership. Although he was well served by able commanders, it was Idris himself who was the leader and architect of Kanuri victories. Shortly after his ascension, he established diplomatic relations with the rulers of North Africa, especially Tripoli, and from them he was able to obtain muskets and a band of expert Turkish musketeers who helped him train his men and decide the issues of some of his most serious battles. As a good tactician and soldier himself, he equipped his troops with arms and saw to their efficient training by the Turks. This is where the sagacious diplomacy of Idris Uluma really shines. His foresight allowed him to take action with the purchase of firearms and the training of his army by the Turks. This was impressive, especially because his neighbor's failure to do so contributed to their downfall. He brought the Second Borno Empire to the apogee of its greatness, securing for it the greatest territorial extent and its highest prestige in the entire central and western Sudan. His achievement was more striking as it coincided with the overthrow of Songhai, the counterpart and rival of Borno to the west, which was conquered by the Moroccans at the Battle of Tondibi in 1591. It's really interesting to see this contrast between African rulers. After the Moroccan invasion, a Songhai ruler named Askia Ishak sought refuge in Idris Uluma's empire. I think that says a lot. Idris was also concerned about education, and under his rule, it said that learning flourished. His learned class of scholars called the Ulama received constant support and encouragement from him. The historical record of Idris Uluma shows a very well-balanced ruler, one of the paragons of African leadership. Well, I'm all out, guys. Let me know in the comments below some other rulers, civilizations, or cultures that you feel deserve more recognition. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.